All contracts are agreements, but all agreements are not contracts. In every agreement, there should be an offer, there should be an acceptance, there will be a proposal, there will be a promise, there will be a consideration, and all this will form an agreement. And if that arrangement or that agreement is enforceable in the law, the court of law, it is contract. Let us see the terms: promise, proposal, offer, acceptance, consideration, agreement, and contracts in this video. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Razia Kali. I welcome all to my channel. As I said, all contracts are agreements, but all agreements are not contracts. What does it mean? It means that you know what is meant by an agreement. An agreement is an arrangement between two parties in which one person offer to do one thing or offer to give a particular thing, and when it is accepted by another party for a consideration, it amounts to an agreement. So here, if you see there is a transaction between two parties, whenever you see a transaction between two parties, you may notice that it is an agreement or it's a contract. Even if you go to a salon for haircutting, it is a contract. If you go to a shop to purchase a particular any commodity, any goods, it is also a contract. If you go to a doctor or advocate or engineer and to get the service, it is also a contract. If you take a bus, or if you board in a train or a flight, or if you buy a ticket, that is also a contract. If you notice any transactions between two parties or two or more parties, most of those transactions are contracts, and you can see the contract. You can see that all the elements of the contracts in each and every such contracts or agreement. So what does it mean by offer? Offer, it is also otherwise called as proposal. When one person agrees to do something, offer to do. So here and section 2A of the Indian Contract Act defines what is the term of proposal. When one person signifies to another his willingness to do or to abstain from doing anything with a view to obtaining the assent of that other, such an act or abstentions, it is called proposal. So supposing a person says, I am ready to cut your hairs, or suppose an advocate says, I am ready to conduct your case, or an auditor says, I will scrutinize your accounts. Such type of offer, such type of expression asking the other person to accept the same is called proposal. Supposing a shopkeeper says, I want to sell this mango or any commodity to you, that is a proposal. So that is one way it is called as proposal, it is also called as offer. So it need not be a particular thing to do. Suppose a thing to a promise to abstain from doing anything is also called can also come be categorized as a proposal. So such type, when there is a proposal, when there is an offer made by one person, and if it is accepted by the other person, that is called as acceptance. Supposing if a person offer to sell mango 1 kg for 100 rupees, Then another person, okay, he said, okay, I am ready to buy the mango for 100 rupees. Then it is called as, it is stamped, it is called as, it is accepted by the another person. So that is an acceptance. So whenever you see the contract, there will be a offer and it will be an acceptance, and there will be another said one thing is called consideration. So what is meant by consideration? So supposing if a shopkeeper offer to give sell the mango to us, we are paying 100 rupees. The price we pay is called consideration as far as to the shopkeeper is concerned. As far as we are concerned, we are getting that mango. So we are giving the money and getting the mango. The mango is a consideration for us, and this money 100 is a consideration to the shopkeeper. When you are going to for salon, we are paying 100 rupees or 200 rupees for haircutting. That is a consideration to the shopkeeper, and we are getting his service. That is a consideration to us. So these are all the things that whenever you notice a contract, there will be a proposal, or otherwise called offer, and promises, and then acceptance, then consideration. These elements will be there in each and every contract. So what is my promise? So when you go to a hotel, when we order for idli or dosa, so there is a promise. So if you serve this idli or dosa, we will pay the price. That is a promise we are giving. So what is the promise he is giving? The hotel owner is giving. He is ready. When we show this menu card, there is a promise that he will deliver that particular product. So there will be a proposal or offer, then promises, acceptance, and consideration, and these elements will be there in each and every agreement. So one as far as agreement is concerned, it is defined in section 2E of the Indian Contract Act, which says that every promise or every set of promise forming consideration to each other is an agreement. So as far as the agreement when you are offering a hotel owner is concerned, he is promising to pay US idli or dosa, and we are promising to pay its price. So promises forming part of consideration to each other is said to be an agreement. So when we are getting a service from a particular place, we are promising to pay service charges, and he is promising to give us the service. So this is the service, and the money which we are going to give for the service are forming consideration to each other, and every promise or every set of promises forming the consideration to each other is an agreement. So whenever we offer to pay a price, and when we are offered to pay the price for services, and the other party offered to give the product or offered to give services, then every promises is reciprocal promises forming part of a consideration to each other, then the contract, then agreement comes into existence. So now you have understood what is now the agreement is over. Then what is meant by contract? As far as the contract is concerned, all agreements are not contracts, but all contracts are agreements. The agreements which is enforceable in the court of law is called contract. The agreement which is not enforceable in the court of law is not a contract. Assuming for a moment, if you are offering to give 1 lakh rupees as a donation to a temple or mosque, and giving a letter, and you are failing to give the donation, whether the temple authority go and file a case against you to pay the money? No, they cannot file a case, and even if they file the case, that is, the court will not direct you to pay the donation. because there is no consideration. As far as the agreement is concerned, there must be a consideration. Understand? So when there is no consideration, cannot be termed as an agreement. Similarly, as far as the agreement, supposing a rowdy is engaged to kill another person, and he receives some money and are ready to do some criminal act. So that is an agreement, because money is paid, he is offering the services, consideration is there, but it is forbidden in the law. So supposing the person, after receiving the money, he failed to do that agreed act, can the payee can go to the court and file a suit to compel the other person to do that act? No, the court will not permit, court will not direct the party to do that act. So because that time the court will say this agreement is not valid, this is not enforceable in the court of law. So such type of agreement is called, such type of agreements which is not enforceable in law will not be categorized as a contract. So all those agreements which is enforceable in the court of law alone are called as contracts. So the difference between the agreement and the contract is the agreements which are enforceable in the court of law is called contract, and the agreement which is not enforceable in the court of law will not get cannot be categorized as a contract. So this is the difference between the two. I hope you will understand this concept. So we have two channels. Razyak LawTube is our English channel. Razyak Sattam Arivom is a Tamil channel. You may watch this my videos and you may watch my two channels and enrich your knowledge. If you have any doubts, you may also contact me. If the time permits, I will try to give you the legal opinion or clarify your doubts. Thank you. Goodbye.